Good morning, colleagues. Welcome back to Friday 5 and 5. The first thing I'm going to look at today is a few colleagues have been asking me about training courses for AI. Microsoft have a really good training course for AI. It's quite long. I think it's just over 4 hours. But it's really good. It takes you from basic stuff to a bit more advanced stuff. And where can you find it? Well, on our dashboard, we've had this AI and AIMS drop down for some time. On it has all of the different things that are related, quick links to useful AI tools. Just going to highlight Diffit because that's one that we have a site license for, and lots of people using that to create content. And the two courses, if I use my Control 1 to zoom in, that I want to highlight are this one, AI for Educators, and this one, AI for Students. That one is on the Students dashboard as well. They're both Microsoft courses. If I click on that to open both of them, you can see here I've got just over an hour left on the course. When you do the course, you can sign in and then you get these XP points, they're called experience points, which then allow you to qualify for Lazada vouchers and Central vouchers and lots of different things. So it's just their way of encouraging you to take part in these courses. So you can see these courses are aligned with what we call the ISTE standards and the UNESCO standards for educators. Highly recommend it if you've got some time over the summer perhaps, or you're in a long taxi ride or on the plane waiting for the plane. Then have a look at it. And the student one is here. 7 modules in this. Again, the level is beginners. Do take a look at that. Next for me, colleagues have been asking me about how do I create a folder where I can then ask people to drop content in it from, and if those people are outside of the partner domain, so parents or colleagues from other schools, and you want them to drop content into it as either as part of a Microsoft form, or just simply send them a link and say, hey, can you add content into this? How do you do it? You do it like this. You could add new. I'm going to create a folder. Let's call it, I don't know, Dropbox. Do you remember Dropbox? That was a long time ago. So I'm going to call it Dropbox folder. And I'm going to give it a particular color and then create. Now often I say, well, where does that go when you create it? What you can do is just use the modified button, and you can see when I go from newer to older. So older to newer was the other way around, so newer to older, then at the top there's my Dropbox folder. And what you do is you need to turn that into a Dropbox folder. So click on the 3 dots and then you can see it says here request files, this one. And so click on request files, and then that's turning the permissions into that, such that what happens is when you send a link to somebody or you put a link in a form, people can click on it and then they can put content in it, but they can't see the content that anyone else has dropped into there. So I'm going to put here, upload your receipts, for example. Next, I'm going to copy the link. You could just directly send it to people if you wanted to, but now that link is in the memory, and I'm going to say add your files here. I could just paste it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that into a hyperlink, Control K to turn it into a hyperlink. I click OK, and then what happens is when people click on that, it will ask them to add the content into it, and you can see here it will just say Brian Taylor's requesting file to upload receipt. So whatever you type into that box, it will put there, and you select the files that you want and drop them in. All right. I'm conscious of the time. Next for me is I'm going to play a video from Grouper. I use Grouper for seating plans and rearranging the seating plans all the time. It's free. Most of the features are free. You can sign in with your Google account and then you can remember the students. This one's really good. It's all about attributes and using attributes in Grouper. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
One of the most popular features of Grouper is Do Not Group With, which you can use to make sure certain students won't be automatically grouped together. But what if you have students whom you want to be paired with a particular student? Here's how Study Buddies can help. I go to my student list view, then I create a new attribute and select Study Buddies. Here's Flora, who's a newcomer to English. I know that a few students speak the same language and can serve as translators, so I select them as Study Buddies. Now, when I use any of the automated grouping tools, at least one of those study buddies will be paired with Flora. Now I'm going to do the same for Grady, who has some emotional challenges. And I'm selecting these students because they're really nice and patient with Grady. Again, when I automatically group students, one of those study buddies will always be in the same group as Grady. That's study buddy.